Hello everyone, I am Tiberius Dawnbringer and you are back on my channel once again. I am continuing my, I guess you could call it a mini-series about the 7 base chakras and the particular stones that I have that I use for those chakras and the properties that are associated with each of those stones that I use. So I'm going to try to hit the ground running and let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first stone I have that's associated with the heart chakra today is called Thulite. This one is a rough specimen, but it's a pink stone. It has flecks of white throughout it. There's also bits of black spots in some of these stones. I want to say that there's tumbled versions, but I have not seen any. I've only ever seen like the rough version of these things. I'm not usually into the color pink personally, but I think this is a fascinating stone. It promotes eloquent speech, helps for building rapport with others, helps overcome shyness, feelings of ease, happiness, joy, and passion for life, and unconditional love. So I think I've mentioned in my previous videos about the various chakras. For each chakra, a lot of the stones that are associated with those chakras tend to be of a specific color. For the heart chakra, green is usually a color of the stones that you'll find because the heart chakra is depicted as a green chakra. But pink is also associated with it, and I mean, I'm not entirely sure why, but I guess it's just because like you think of Valentine's Day, when people celebrate that holiday, a lot of the decorations that depict, you know, hearts and ribbons and stuff like that are usually of a pink color. So maybe because we as humans associate the color of pink with love, then I guess the stones kind of took on that characteristic, you know? Don't know for sure, but yeah, that's kind of what I think. So the next stone we have, sorry, the cat just came in. The next stone we have is Sticktite. Sticktite. This is a purple and black stone. I tried when a batch of these came in at the store I used to work at. I tried to pick the most purpley one that they had there. But this is definitely a tumbled piece. It's very smooth. I like the color combination of the purple and black, and this is a good purple. This stone encourages compassion towards others and ourselves. It encourages clear thinking and eases worries. It helps with high blood pressure, headaches, eating disorders, excuse me, hernias, ruptures, and gingivitis. Sorry, my throat's getting weird. I apologize for coughing into the microphone. Excuse me. But anyways, yeah, I think this is a pretty stone. I have not found a lot of use in it with my work, and not to say that it doesn't have any use, it's just that I actually have more heart stone chakras than I did like the previous ones, where I only had like 4 for the solar plexus and 4 for the sacral that I use. I have 8 here that I use for the heart chakra, and there are just some stones that I get called to use more often than others. So yeah, here is a stone that I have used on quite a few occasions, and people might be familiar with this one, is rose quartz. Yep, it is of the clear quartz family, but it has, I'm not sure what the mineral is or what it is, but it's got pinkness inside of it, and it's a pretty stone, I think, or crystal. Rose quartz helps with signs of aging, which I think we all can enjoy. It promotes love, heart stone, rose chakra, makes sense. Helps forgiveness, cleanses toxic energies and emotions, and helps release negativity. This is a kind and gentle stone. On the few occasions I've used it, I have enjoyed working with it. I don't know, just the energy of this feels as smooth as the surface of the crystal itself, which this is mainly a tumbled piece, so of course it would be smooth. But it's a nice stone. I like working with it, and a lot of people like it in jewelry and stuff. If you can get a small enough piece, a lot of people would come in and get like one of these cage pendant things, and they would get a piece of like rose quartz that would fit inside of it, and they would just wear it around their necks. And that's perfectly fine, especially since it will hang right in front of where the heart chakra would be, you know? So it makes sense if you're going to work with that particular kind of stone. Okay, moving on. Another good one that I've worked with a few times is pink calcite. Let me try to get not so much in the light because I don't want it to like get all shiny, but it's a nice pink color. Mine has this little gap or indentation that's natural. It's in there. I can't get the camera to zoom in enough on it, but when you look closely at it, it has like tiny pieces of what looks like quartz in there. It kind of looks like a mouth with tiny little teeth, but it's a pretty stone. I really wish I had a UV flashlight, because this stone actually reacts to UV light. I would get this flashlight that had UV LED bulbs on it, and when I'd shine it on there, this thing would turn like a whole nother color, and you would see like pink highlighted bands all throughout the inside of it. And it's a pretty fascinating display, to be honest. I'll have to look into finding one of those flashlights, and if I do, I'll specifically bring that about in a later video so you guys can see it. It's pretty awesome. So that's actually all for the pink stones that I have. We're going to move on to all the green stones that I have. And the next one, and probably the most prettiest out of my collection for this particular category, is malachite. This is malachite, tumbled malachite. Malachite is a pretty fascinating stone. I've seen it both in tumbled and rough. Tumbled, I hate to say it, but tumbled is definitely much prettier to look at. It has all these swirls, circles, and designs, and just the dark green mixed with the light green is a fascinating combination. The thing about malachite that I'll mention, especially in its rough form, is it can actually have toxic properties about it. Like when we had a display case that had some rough pieces, we would let the customers look at it, but we wouldn't advise them to actually pick it up. You know, especially if it's during like the hotter months, like summertime, or if it's humid out, because the moisture in your skin or moisture on the stone itself will actually activate the toxic components that are inside of it, and it could potentially affect the recipient or the, you know, whoever is touching it. The tumbled pieces, as far as I know, don't have anywhere near as much of that toxicity within them, and because they're tumbled, I guess it helps seal it in a lot more. But again, like on a hot summer day and your palms are all sweaty and stuff, I would not go about risking holding this or whatever. This would be a good stone to wear in one of these as well, because you can still have it on you, display it, but it's not touching your skin, and it's a lot less likely that any kind of moisture will disrupt it in any way. But I tell you some of the properties about this stone. So it promotes healing and personal growth, abundance of the spirit. It's known as a stone of transformation. Cleanses and purifies all chakras. Guardian of the heart, sense of vitality and spiritual renewal. So again, this would be a good one to wear in something like this and have it, just floating there right over top of your heart chakra. So if you're focusing on doing heart-related work on yourself, that would be a great idea of something you could do to assist and facilitate that kind of healing work. Excuse me. Alright, so gonna move on to what is the next stone I have. This stone is called, I don't know if it's an infinite or infinity, but I'm just gonna say infinite. It's the infinite stone. It's another green stone. And I apologize if the lighting has shifted because I think it got cloudy outside, so the sun kind of disappeared, but still have enough lighting. You can see this is it's a different kind of green. I personally haven't done a lot of work with this particular stone, but it has a lot of interesting properties that I liked about it, so I went ahead and grabbed one. It draws out negativity that draws out negativity that's manifested within our bodies. Let me just look at the list. Good for healing the past and helps inspire change. Helps in finding lost objects, elixir for pain, and known as the healer's stone. So even though I don't actually work with this on a regular basis, I have it in my little bag that holds all my stones when I go to work on a client. So it is always with me. I keep it around specifically for that. The healing properties of this particular stone. It doesn't hurt to always have more things to help assist and encourage further healing when I'm working on someone. The part where was good for healing the past, so it doesn't have to be like just past life stuff, but anything that's in the past, this would be good for working on. I want to say in one of my previous videos, I was talking, I think it was Ancestralite, that had a lot of stuff that had to do with past and past life energies and karmic cycles and such. This would probably be a good one to do in combination with that other stone. And many stones there are like that, if you can find others. There are plenty others out there. But it also mentioned elixir for pain. Now what does that mean? Okay, so when people talk about elixirs and crystals and stones, what they're meaning is that you can actually take particular stones, and what people will do is, say you'll fill up a glass of water and you'll put this stone in the bottom of the glass, or you'll just let it sit in a glass. And some people will let it sit for a day, some will let it sit for an hour, but whatever. So what's happening is the particular healing properties of that stone is saturating into the water, those healing properties. And then what you do is you just drink the water. It literally becomes an elixir for you to drink. And I've known people to do that on a regular basis. I haven't practiced with it, but only because I keep forgetting it's a thing, So I've seen people who, they have these plastic drinking bottles, and I can't think of the company. I'll have to look into it, do more research, but there's this company that builds these specific kinds of water bottles, and they have specific stone pieces that are encased in plastic, I think, but it's designed to fit inside the bottle, so it will sit there at the bottom of the bottle, and you'll see like this obelisk or a tiny little pillar of a particular kind of stone, you know, like quartz, unakite, calcite, or just whatever you feel like using. So the stone is protected from the actual water itself. So if you do it all the time, the water would probably eventually erode away, you know, the outer parts of the stone or crystal. But the properties of that stone are still getting into the water, and people just drink it all day long. So that's another video I could totally do in another time, all about elixirs and what stones work really well with that. That's a great idea. I'm glad I thought of it. So we're going to move on to the next stone I have on the list. Green quartz. Oop. Almost lost my notes there. So this is green quartz. To me, it looks almost like green calcite. If it was tumbled a bit more, this one's kind of rough, kind of half tumbled. But if it was tumbled a little bit more, it might look like green aventurine. But this is what green quartz looks like. Alright, so green quartz opens and stabilizes the heart chakra, transmutes negative energy, inspires creativity, and balances the endocrine system. Okay, so the endocrine system, I had to look this up because I figured people would probably ask about it. So I wanted to make sure I had at least something to offer you guys. So from what I found off of the Wikipedia page that talks about the endocrine system, it is a messenger system comprising feedback loops of the hormones released by internal glands of an organism directly into the circulatory system, regulating distant target organs. That's a lot of words to explain what it does. In humans, the major endocrine glands are the thyroid gland and the adrenal glands. So I've only recently learned a little bit about the thyroid glands, but I've noticed that a lot of people that have like various cancers throughout their body, or people that their thyroid glands get affected in some bad or not so good way, and then their body just starts, like, they start gaining weight for no reason. Like, no matter how much they exercise or diet or just don't even eat at all, they still gain all this weight because their thyroid's all completely out of whack. You know, so to me, the endocrine system is pretty much how your body communicates to all your organs to tell them to do their job, and you know, to make sure they're still functioning. And so this stone here, the green quartz, is apparently a very powerful facilitator for that particular system. So I'm going to move on to my last stone here, and this one is called chrysoprase or chrysophrase. It depends on who spells it. I think it's spelled Prase, so I call it chrysoprase. But you can see it's got like a half green, half brown design going here. This stone, I mean, the light kind of messes with the color of the green a little bit, but when I look at this stone, it reminds me of like what are those, chocolate mint like cookies, or chocolate mint ice cream, or anything chocolate mint. That's what this reminds me of. So I don't use it often because, you know, I don't know, it makes me think of cookies. So it's silly, ridiculous, I'm sure, but whatever. That's just how it is with me. So what does this stone do? Let's see. It induces sleep meditative states, promotes love, truth, hope, and gives personal insights. It's excellent for relaxation and peaceful sleep. It enhances fertility, reverses infertility, and guards against STDs. That's a great one. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me on that. Increases absorption of vitamin C. You know, vitamin C is always good for the body. But yeah, so you have a couple in here that talk about sleep and meditative states. This helps promote that. I guess if you're having trouble sleeping, this would be a good stone to get a hold of and place it in your pillow while you're sleeping. You know, like your pillowcase. Like I've done that a lot with stones. I'll take particular stones and throw them in my pillowcase right before I go to bed, and I'll just sleep. Usually when I do it though, in the past I've done it with stones or crystals that help, you know, with dreaming, lucid dreaming, out of body experiences, astral travel, those kind of stones I'll throw in there, and just to try to have like some kind of a experience or an adventure while I'm sleeping, something I can wake up and write about for like several hours, you know. What was the other property? Oh, enhances fertility and reverses infertility. So I've only come across a couple people in the past with my line of work who would talk about how they weren't completely infertile, but they were having trouble having children, and they wanted to actually try to have a child. And this is one of the stones that I knew that I could promote to them. I know there's other stones out there. There was another one I mentioned just a few videos ago that had to deal with fertility. But I used to have this list for that particular topic, where it'd be like, you know, oh, if someone comes in asking about fertility or infertility, I just flip to that page in the notebook, and there'd be a lot of stones already listed down, and be like, oh, okay, cool, because, you know, there are thousands of crystals that exist on this world alone, right? And some of them, some of the stones and crystals that exist on our world have come from other places, off planet. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have thousands of stones that do all the kinds of stuff I've been talking about, and they each individually have like at least a dozen or so different properties that they do. So for someone to actually try to be able to remember all of that and then know it off the top of their head what all these things are, humans are, well, some people can say that humans are kind of like computers, but to a certain degree we're not like that. We cannot currently like categorize and retain all that information just like that. Maybe someone who's been doing this their whole lives can, and I've seen people who can do it, you know, but just, Jesus, good Lord, that's a lot of information. So anyways, I don't know why I started talking about that, but those are my 8 stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, those are my 8 stones that I have, that I work with, that are specifically tuned to the heart chakra. Okay, so if you're watching this still, I appreciate you for doing that, for being here, for exchanging your time and your energy with me. This is the video about the heart chakra, which means I have at least 3 more videos. Obviously a next one, since I'm going from the lower chakras up, the next one's going to be about the throat chakra, and then we'll have the third eye and the crown chakra after that. And tonight is a new moon, and so I'm going to actually be doing a new moon manifestation ritual, and I'm going to actually be doing a video about that topic as well. So you'll get to see that in a little while and how I do it. So anyways, I would like to express my gratitude for all of you being here, and for me to be able to be alive in this lifetime and have the opportunity to do these kind of videos and to work on this kind of channel and just to do this work in general. I enjoy it very much. Thank you all, and I will see you the next time.